So this is where we spawn, and the first thing we need to do is actually just run along this path, and we're going to head down into the main town, and then from there we can start making like our first shelters and tools and all that sort of stuff. And on the way, if we see things, we want to make sure that we pick them up if we can. So I thought there was some flax there. It looked like flax, but it wasn't. We do have some stones around here though, and as always in these survival games, I always like to pick things up as soon as I get the chance. We have some berries over here as well, and getting some early game food is definitely going to be good. And I want to pick up any dead wood that we can get as well, because wood will be useful. I'm basically picking up everything I can at this stage, and I could just head straight into the town, but I like to get some early game resources first of all. So this is the main path from where we spawned in, just up there, and I'm just gathering resources along the way, as you can see here. In fact, there's even some flax here, which is useful, because the first time I played this, finding flax was a little more difficult. There's actually some more here as well. Oh, this belongs to the nearby village. Okay, well, I guess we're closing in on the village. In fact, we can see the gateway just down here. Let's run in, and you can see there on the left-hand side, we have a quest. We have to talk to Dobron Yorklin. I think I'm saying that correctly. And once we've spoken to him, basically, that's when we'll be able to build our shelter. Of course, going through the town here, though, it does give you a bit of an idea as to what we can actually do later on in this game. And that's when it starts to get pretty exciting to me. Not only do these buildings all look fantastic, and if you're a builder like me, you like building lots of nice things, you're going to have a lot of fun in this game, but it also indicates like we're going to be doing things like farming. And I know for a fact that we are. I've seen obviously a lot of the trailers and stuff, as you guys may have too, but farming, crafting, cooking, it's going to be a lot of fun. And of course, we're going to be doing this with a lot of NPCs in our own village eventually. Anyway, here's Dobron, whatever he is. I'm just going to skip through this bit where I chat to him, and then we'll go and build our first shelter. So there we go. We've spoken to him. We can go make our shelter, and you can see now that we have that as a quest to build our own personal shack. You also got this notice board here where you can get some lore and some information about the game. What I'm going to do for now is just follow this road on down this way. Again, there's so much to look at on the way, and I'm tempted to stop and spend some time looking because these things do look really, really cool. But I should probably get on because we really want to get through our first night and have the ability to sleep and obviously make some progress. So I'm just following the path along. You can see on the mini-map there in the bottom right, we're now about to leave the town and we're heading out into the valley. I want to try and find a good spot to build. Obviously, we need to be near some things. Like, I want to be near to a forest. Not only will that provide the build materials through the trees that we can chop down, but also there are some early game buildings, some hunting and stuff like that are better off placed out in the forest, and they'll do better. So I think being near some trees would be good, potentially near water, or if there's other resources nearby, like these different flowers and things like this, like sage here, and was that flax maybe? Yep, flax over here. I mean, all this stuff is definitely going to be useful for our early game building. So I'm thinking that anywhere I find deposits like this would be a good place to build. And this here is looking pretty good, actually. It's pretty flat. Yeah, I kind of like this area. Let's see if we can go up to this forest over here and maybe start our base just up this way. All right, we have a ton of flax just here. I'm not actually sure whether or not this regrows. I guess we'll find that out later on, but it's still a lot here for us to gather in the early game. And if we just go through here, you can see we've still got a nice flat bit that's going to be near a couple of different forests. So I really think this is a good spot to build. So I've been collecting a load of resources, as you can see here on my inventory, open when I press I, but it also shows here the things that we can craft up quickly. And one of the things I want to get done pretty early is the axe. So I'm just going to collect a couple of resources that I need for them, bit of extra wood right there, then that'll be available to us. Another thing that we want to do actually as well is place down our shack. Obviously this is part of the quest, but this will be our early game home, basically, where we're going to sleep and live the early part of this game. It provides us with obviously shelter, storage and stuff like that. So if I press B, then I open up the ability to select that shack, and then when I click that, I go into this screen right here, and as you can see, this is sort of like a different type of view, and it gives us the build options. I think I'll place it like just about here. Seems good. Yeah, place it down there. And now that I have enough materials, I'm going to go back into my inventory and just hold down clicking here on the axe. You can see the blue bar goes around and we can craft that up. And there we go. We have the simple axe right there, which if we right click gets equipped into our hotbar. So now we can go and chop down some trees. So if I'd use the wood on this, I'd have to go and gather a load more wood to make up the axe. But obviously it's more efficient to do it this way. Now certain trees like this one here, you'll see do require a better tool. But if we keep searching around for a smaller tree, like the ones that are over here, then we'll be able to chop these down. So pretty simple. You walk up to a tree and just hold down left click until it falls over, and there it goes. And then at that point we can walk up to it and we can chop it up into the actual logs. And once chopped, we can take the logs and they'll be stored in our inventory. As you can see, the logs do take up quite a lot of space in your inventory though. So what I think I'm actually going to do is run back over to my build site, and instantly it is now showing up on the mini-map, so you can use that for navigation. And I'm just going to chuck a load of resources down in a pile, otherwise we won't be able to gather too much. So let's see, if we grab like this here, we just throw all this down on the floor. Now if I hold down Alt and then just left click on, for example, all that stone, then all of it goes in one go. And because I dropped a load of stuff in one spot, it's in this loot bag, which when we open it up, you'll see all the stuff is in here. So it's just a nice way of keeping your storage in the early game before you have like chests and stuff like that to do it a bit better. Now, early game, you're going to be doing a lot of running back and forth between wherever it is you're building and the trees and stuff. So that's why it's a good idea to build with trees nearby. We now have a load of the required resources, which are all of the sticks. So you can go to these build points right here and just left click in order to put them over in the storage there. You'll see they appeared in this thing over here behind me. Then when you're over here, what you can do is left click and you'll actually be able to build the parts from the storage over there. So we put stuff into the storage and then we build it up. It's kind of a unique way of doing the building in this game, as you can see. So we need to do this until every part has been built essentially, and then our shack will be built and it will be functional at that point. Now it's telling us that we need some flax, so we'll come over here, and it's a good job I picked up so much of this. Let's just drag all of that and chuck it in there for now. And hopefully that's going to be enough. So we just left click once again and it goes to the build and then over into here, into the resources over there, you can see, and eventually ends up over here. So building in this game is like a little bit more realistic because you don't just stand in one spot and just keep hitting your hammer or something like that. You have to actually walk around where you would be actually building it. So like there's a bit over here that needs to be built. We have to walk over to that and actually click on it to build it. So I guess some people will like that, some people will dislike it. I think it's certainly quite a unique mechanic in the game, but let me know what you think about it down in the comments. And there we go, we have built our personal shack, and look at it. Here it is in all its glory. What a beautiful house that we now live in. So as it says, if we press C, we get all these different things coming up that give us information about the game, but it says here that the shack will provide a personal place for us to sleep and a private chest. So the chest, if we come over to here, you can see we can press F and we can open up this storage right here. So at this point, you can just Alt and left click stuff to put it in bulk. And I'm going to go ahead and move all the storage that we had in this sort of temporary storage area right here and put it all over into the new storage area that we now have. As you can see, logs take up a huge amount of storage space, so you might want to store them externally for now and just sort of chuck them down on the floor. Now at this stage, the game is telling us, as you can see there, to wait until tomorrow. And if we tried to sleep right now, it'll tell us that actually it's too early for us to sleep. So in the meantime, I'm just going to go and gather a load of resources. In fact, I should probably eat some food before I go as well. Just talking about food, actually, as we're on that point, let's grab out some berries here. You can see the blue bar down the bottom. I believe that is their durability, as how much is left before they spoil. So in that case, we want to make sure that we eat the ones with the lowest durability first. Let's go ahead and we can hold down right click. There we go, and consume them. And my green bar in the top left is going up to give us more energy and health and stuff like that. Now, if we can find another food source, I believe we'll be able to eat it. But if we try to eat another berry, I don't think that works. In fact, we can test this because I do have a berry bush right here. Let's just give it a go. So if I was to right click here right now, yeah, no, it didn't let me eat that, I don't think, did it? Yeah, the berry doesn't disappear when we right click it right now because it's in our consumed foods, but it looks like we can have up to 3 of them. So let's see if we can find something else to eat. So I found some mushrooms down here. Let's go ahead and pick up a few of these, and I'm guessing it's safe to eat them, but let's just test that together, I suppose. So let's hold down right click and consume them. And yeah, seems to be fine. So mushrooms are fine to eat, and we just will harvest a load of them. Not sure if there's like seasons in this game or anything like that where the mushrooms will not be here in a few in-game days time or something, but either way, I suppose it's good to have a lot anyway. I've come across some sort of abandoned camp looking like structure, and I thought I'd explore this with you guys and see if there's anything here for us. So let's see, there's an old chest that we can loot, so that's pretty good. And there we go, we got an old coin and some actual coins. Now if we open up the lore, it says right here about the old coins. Basically there's a bit of lore, but you can gift them to the elders to increase the village's trust in you. So this is a way of gaining trust throughout the game, and actually something that's going to be quite useful to us. There's another chest over here, so let's grab that as well. And oh, we found an onion in there and a roasted mushroom. Okay, let's have a look at what that's going to do for us. So the roasted mushroom, let's say that's food, which gives us 25 health. The normal mushroom only 16, and the berries are 8. So that's actually pretty strong for early game. Let's see the onion as well. It says about how it's pungent, but it can be grown on a farm. Okay, that's interesting. It also does give us some food, but I think as we've only got one, maybe we should keep that and look to farm it. I'm not sure about that. We'll have a think about that one. So I think that might be everything we can actually get from here. Nothing else is showing that I can actually pick it up, but still, that's not bad. Just a little bit of loot there whilst we're out exploring. And when you are exploring, if you get a little bit lost or anything, you can press M to open up the map, and it will show you where you can go to get home. So right now our personal shack is there, and the icon has changed from what it was before because it has now been built. And this right here is, oh, it says Wolves Lair. Oh, okay. So I was actually in a wolf lair, I think. Didn't realize that. I thought it was just some sort of abandoned camp. I might actually run away before I die, but that's quite good to know. At least we got the loot without dying. I hope. At this point, I'm waiting for a wolf to jump out and kill me. Hopefully, we're going to be okay. Now, one thing building this camp has done is when we press B right now, we have a load of other stuff that we're able to build, including an outhouse if we really wanted to build that. And it does say it's a place where we can get rid of any items that aren't needed anymore, which is quite good. But there's some other stuff here that's more useful. So we got like the workbenches and stuff like that. Also, Also a camp chest. I think building one of those might be a good idea because storage is becoming a bit of an issue already. And while we're in this build menu, we can use Q and E to go through different things that we can build. So that's the camp chest. If we press Q again, it goes to the workbench, for example. And also we can use the middle mouse button to rotate it. So let's see if we put down a chest just here like this, and we'll add some construction materials to it as we go through. And there we go. We've managed to build ourselves up the chest. So let's open this one up right here and see. This is the amount of storage that we've got for it, which actually isn't that much because, oh, actually, okay, so that is like per item. So we can have as many as we want of the items. So if we put in rock, it only takes up one slot, not all of these slots. Okay, that's actually really useful to know. So let's put in like most of the stuff that we don't really need at this stage, and we'll keep food in there and stuff like that. Oh, now the slots are starting to expand as well. And there we go. The volume is up the top there, 21 out of 50 items. So if we add up the numbers of all of these, then this adds up to 21. And as you can see, we have a total of 50 we can put in there. So that's actually pretty useful to know. I'd also really like to get into making up a simple workbench. I think that could be quite useful to us. So let's go ahead and select that one. And we'll just place that down over this side for now so we know what's what. And we're going to need to get a load of materials for it. But I think we'll have time to build this before nightfall. Now, stone can be a little hard to see, especially it gets to nighttime, although these little white dots here do help. But you can pick these up without needing a pickaxe. So if you're wondering about that, it is in the game. You don't have to wait until the point where you can harvest up these bigger rocks, which tell you on them that you need a pickaxe to harvest them. But there is these stones here that are available before that. Whilst I was out exploring and picking up a load of flax, I actually found this right here, some flax seeds. So that's pretty cool. We could get into farming pretty soon and grow our own flax. Getting into farming is something I want to do pretty early in this game. I'm sure it'll be very useful to us. But obviously the focus at this moment here is to build the workbench. And yeah, there we go. We've done it. And we have some lore here basically saying that we can now craft up, you know, armors and tools and things like that. But we are going to require workers, as you can see there. So when we make this simple workbench, it's not something that we can do ourselves over on this bit. However, there are two bits you see here. But this one right here, we can use. So if we press F there, we can go into a crafting section. And you see here, there's different things that we can make. On top of that, we can also repair tools. So you see here, the simple axe, we can repair that. It does take materials to do so, but it is something that's available to us. Now, this is something we'll be using a lot more of in the future. But for now, I think that's pretty safe to say that it's nighttime. And we can go ahead and sleep through our first night. Doing so has, of course, opened up the fact that we can now talk to Dobron once again. So if we go onto our map right here and we have a look, then this right here is the quest icon that we need to do, and it even says quest objective as you hover over it. So I think what I'll do is get to the road here and follow that around, see where that goes. So that's this one down this way, I suppose, and then we'll go speak to Dobron to complete that quest. I have to say, it is absolutely pouring with rain in the game, but the graphics are quite nice, quite a relaxing game to kind of sink into for a few hours, in my opinion. Of course, if you are interested in buying this game, it's on Steam at the moment. There's actually 10% off this game right now on Steam, so it's a pretty good time to buy if you're interested. There will be a link in the description to this game's Steam page if you're interested. I was walking down this road and I wasn't really paying attention, and unfortunately I managed to miss the road I was supposed to go down. So I was going down here and our quest is up there, but it did show me something. If I left click this right here, it gets these little arrows around it, and now it shows up on the mini-map down there, so I actually can see where I need to go on the mini-map. So it shows on the edge, which is actually quite helpful. I'm just wondering if oh, okay, maybe it goes away after a while. Let me just run for a bit and see if it goes away or not. Okay, maybe it was actually just on the mini-map all along. Either way, it's good to pay attention to that, and then you won't make the same mistake I did. Let's run back along the road and get there and complete the quest, but I thought it was worth sharing that knowledge. Obviously, this game is still in early access, so I, just like everybody else, am very new to the game, and it's always good to share tips and things. And if you have any tips that you want to share with me and the rest of the community, I'd love to see them down in the comments. Okay, here he is, good old Dobron, so let's have a little chat with him and see what he says. So let's ask him to give us a chance to earn his trust and see what he says. Perhaps he'll give us some sort of quest to do. Okay, so what we have to do now is go and talk to Amelie, and I think this is going to get us into hunting. So the quest I can see right now, it is down there on the mini map, so I guess it was there the whole time. Maybe that's something just for quest icons. Anyway, let's go find her. She's going to be somewhere in the village, potentially, I think. I think just down here somewhere. Just trying to parkour down. Don't want to like die on my way. But let's see what she says. Okay, yeah, here she is. Let's have a chat with her and go through this text thing, and then see what it tells us to do at the end of it all. Having spoken to her, we have to go and visit Lubomir Netterby and have a chat with him. So we'll head off there now. I'm not sure how far it's going to be. It's up on the map. Oh, not too far. Okay, that's pretty good. Here's the camp that we find Lubomir at. So we're going to go and have a little chat with him and see what he says to us. Okay, so we're going to say this. I think it's possible. He basically wants to join us. So we're going to do that, but we have to build the housing tent for him first. So what I think we'll do is, let's just see. Yeah, it's not too far. This is our little shelter down here. We'll go and build that down there. And we can start, I mean, I don't want to call it a town. This is probably a bit of an exaggeration, but a little camp of people. So it'll be me and Lobomir and potentially like a few other people as well in the future. And we can all live in the same area then. So if we press B once again, then we can open up a few things here. And the housing tent is what we need to build. So let's go ahead and get one of those set up. And what I think I'll do is I'll put him over here somewhere. And maybe we can get like a circle of tents over time. So then when there's like more and more people joining, that's what will happen. Now, just like last time, what we need to do is bring the materials over to it. But I think I might actually have some of these already. Let's check our storage. So yeah, it turns out I did actually have some logs. I've got one there and we have another one over here. We can only take one at a time because they're so large, but there we go. And I'm not sure how many this needs, but again, this is good being near the trees. So we can actually start building a load of these parts as well. So let's get that done. Ultimately, though, we will need to go and collect a few more materials in order to be able to complete this build. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now and get the build done and then see what's available to us at that time. I think at that time, what we're going to do is go back to Lobomir and bring him into our town. Well, I've managed to build the housing tent, as you can see here. And if we press C and open up the lore for it, let's see if we can find, where did it say about the tent here? Yeah, here we go, under general housing tent. Basically, what it says is this can accommodate 2 people, actually, not just 1. So eventually, when we're building several of these up, we'll have a lot more people, but we can actually get 2 in just this one. So at this point, we need to go back to Lobomir. So let's go and do that. And we're going to invite him to join our town. Okay, so let's have a little chat with him. And we can say that he can actually join us. And there we go. So he now lives with us. So we can turn the companion into a worker, it says there. That's the next thing to do. And we can get him actually doing stuff for us. So this guy now is part of our town, essentially, part of our community. And we can get him to do things for us, like collect resources and stuff like that. So that's pretty cool. And obviously over time, we're going to have a lot of people in our town, all doing different things in order to get us resources a lot quicker and build our town a lot faster. Now, if I come over to this housing tent once again and press manage settlers right now, then what I can do is see that right here we have 1 resident in, and that is Lobomir. And we could unassign if we wanted to. Obviously, we don't want to do that. But basically, over time, that's how we're going to manage our citizens. And now what I think I need to do here is asking me to build a research desk. So let's go ahead and build one of those. And I'm going to put this maybe just like here somewhere, I think could be good, because this is where Lobomir has to go in order to work. So the commute time actually does matter. We don't want to put this like miles away from his house, because he will actually walk to it and not start working until he gets there. And let's see, we need a load of flax, which I thought I had more than that. Maybe it's in my storage. Let's double check that. We do have, no, we don't actually have. Okay, well, it's gathering resources again. Obviously, something we're going to be doing a lot of in the early game. And actually, I think I saw some flax over in these bushes here. But once that's built, then he can get to doing his work. And I'll show you guys how that works. Now, Lobomir will follow us around at the moment. You can see wherever we go, he comes running after. If we press F to inspect him, now he's running away from me. You see there's a few things we can do. So, for example, we can tell him to be a worker or even a guard. And then there's these different options over here. You can also expel them from your village if you need to, switch settlements, things like that. So you got a lot of like information about him. And we're going to make him a worker, so that's good because that's part of our quest. And now I think I have enough materials over here to finish the construction of this. Oh, no, I don't. Actually need, what do I need here? A load more wood. Okay, so I'll get that. But that's how we turn him into a worker. And then once the research desk is built, he can actually start working. Okay, guys, the research desk has been built. So let's go to manage right now. And let's see, select an available technology to start researching. And it wants us to do the small traps. So let's go ahead and click on that one. Now, at this point, you can see if we hover over that, we've got Lobomir right here, and he is researching. So there he goes. This is him doing his research. I think he's finding out how to make a trap by wandering off into the forest. So yeah, maybe he's going to find a previous trap from someone. But I think there's a case now of just waiting, and over time, Lobomir will like figure out how to research that. Let's see. Oh, actually, no, here we go. So required resources for small trap. So that's why he's getting wood. You see it's gone up to 2, 3. He's gathering wood for it. And also we need some flax. So let's see if we have any flax in the storage. But if not, then we can go and get some. And that's how we're going to do this research. So yeah, I've got a couple of flax here. Let's go and take those over to the research desk and see if we can do something with that. So if I just put those over there. Yep, there we go. So it needed 5. We're going to put the 2 wood in there as well. There we go. So it only needs 3 of those. Yeah, so this is how we do it. And then once you've got the resources, we can do the research. Okay, so I now have all the required resources. Let's just click them all into place. In fact, we have more than enough. So we've got everything that is required. You can see right here, it's currently 0% research. So I'm guessing over time, yeah, there we go. It's going up right now. So this is Lobomir right here working at the research side of things. And it's pretty quick. We're already on 50%. But then once that's done, we'll be able to make traps. And there we go. The trap has been researched. And the next thing we're going to do is get him to craft the trap over at the simple workbench. So the simple workbench is right here. And we said before we can craft on this side. But on this side, we can press manage. So if we go ahead and press manage, then we can select something. So in this case, the small trap. And we want this to be, yes, just a one-off. And we can tell them how many to make, and we could like add things in there if we wanted to. Obviously, we just want the one for now, so we'll just leave it like that. And as you can see, he's gathering resources and bringing them over in order to do that crafting for us. So he's already starting to work for us in the town. And if we go back in here now, you can see this is the progress bar for this, and we see how that goes. Hovering here as well shows you on the left-hand side how much wood you need. So we did need 5 wood. Obviously, we had that in storage, or he had it or something because he went and got it. But that's what we need to provide in order for him to build this. Okay, he has now crafted the traps. Let's go back into the workbench and see, does that wait for us here? Or, oh, looks like he's bringing it over to the camp storage. Okay, so, oh, yep, there it is. There's our traps. We can grab that out and put it here. And we're now going to go and put it in the dense forest along with bait. That's what it's telling us to do. Now, I think for bait, we can actually use things like the mushrooms and, let's see, let's grab some of those. Yeah, like these mushrooms here or the berries or things like that. I think that can be used as bait. Now, I'm not entirely sure what's going to count as dense forest, but let's just run off to this bit right here because this is kind of near our base. And this goes back to choosing the right location for our base and being near the woods and things. It is very helpful. So if I press B right now, then do we have the trap here, or is it a case of, let's go into our inventory. Oh, we just right click it and then we can put it down. So let's just put it in this little clearing right here. And let's see. Yeah, there we go. We can add berries and mushrooms to it and stuff like that, which we've done by left clicking. I guess now we just wait. So that's going to be a way that we can trap food and get better food and also like a passive food income throughout this game. Or certainly throughout the early game anyway. So pretty useful to be at that stage. If you enjoyed today's episode and would like to see how me and Lubomir get on in the future and see more Bellwright content, then please do subscribe. But for now, I just want to say thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next episode.